in the glittering haze of a Los Angeles charity gala, where diamonds clink like whispered secrets and power, brokers seal fates over vintage champagne. A single father's world collides with unimaginable wealth. His wide-eyed daughter tugs at his threadbare sleeve, insisting they crash the velvet ropes just once for a glimpse of magic. But when a priceless emerald necklace vanishes into the night, suspicion ignites like wildfire. The elegant heiress, accused in a heartbeat, stands frozen as betrayal slices from those closest to her. Then a child's innocent voice pierces the chaos, unveiling a truth that shatters illusions and forges unbreakable bonds. What happens when poverty meets privilege in the shadow of deceit? Hold on, this tale of redemption will grip your soul, Jack. Harlan hunched over the flickering bulb in his cramped Echo Park apartment, the kind where the walls wept with mold and the fridge hummed like a dying heartbeat. At 38, widowed 2 years now after a drunk driver claimed his wife on the 101, Jack scraped by as a night shift mechanic in a garage that smelled of oil and broken dreams. Rent was 3 months late, and little Mia, his 7-year-old, firecracker with curls, like wild springs and eyes that sparkled with unquenchable wonder, subsisted on peanut butter sandwiches and library books about far-off adventures. "Daddy, when can we go to a real party? Like in the movies with lights and cake?" she'd beg, her voice a fragile melody against the city's relentless roar. Jack would ruffle her hair, promising someday, but someday felt like a ghost. Across the sprawl, in a Bel Air mansion perched like a crown on the Hollywood Hills, Elena Vasquez reigned as the 42-year-old tech mogul behind Vasquez Innovations, the app that revolutionized urban farming for food deserts. Her empire had lifted her from East LA's concrete jungles to Forbes lists. But solitude gnawed at her edges. Tonight she slipped into a crimson gown that hugged her like a second skin, diamonds at her throat catching the light like captured stars. The invitation burned in her hand. The annual LA Philanthropy Summit at the Dolby Theater, a glittering nexus of A-listers and do-gooders unveiling a $10 million grant for urban renewal. Elena's best friend, Sophia Reyes, her cousin by blood, sharper than a switchblade and VP at a rival firm, arrived in a chauffeured Bentley, her laughter a shield against the envy that trailed them. "You deserve this spotlight, Prima," Sophia purred, linking arms. But Mia had other plans. Overhearing Jack's co-worker boast about a +1 ticket won in a raffle meant for the garage's holiday party, she swiped it from his locker, her tiny fingers fueled by fairy tale fever. "Please, Daddy. Just us. Like old times with Mommy." Jack's resolve cracked under her pleading gaze. How could he deny her this sliver of joy? Dressed in his one decent suit frayed at the cuffs, they slipped past the paparazzi swarm into the Dolby's opulent foyer, chandeliers dripping light like molten gold. Mia's gasp echoed. Marble floors, waiters in crisp tuxes balancing caviar towers, gowns swirling like living flames. Jack's heart pounded. They were fish in a shark tank, but for Mia it was Wonderland. Unbeknownst to them, a shadow moved through the throng. Victor Kane, the unassuming valet with a gambler's twitch and debts to underground lenders, eyes locked on the Gala's crown jewel, an antique emerald, necklace donated by a silent bidder, its facets whispering of Aztec empires, valued at $2.5 million, displayed in a glass case on stage. For the grant reveal, the Dolby Theater pulsed with electric anticipation, the air thick with perfume and ambition. Spotlights swept the crowd like search beams, illuminating clusters of Hollywood royalty. A Oscar-winning director nursing a scotch, a pop icon in a feathered cape whispering to a senator. Elena glided through it all, her smile a polished veneer over the ache of isolation. Sophia at her side, ever the fierce guardian scanning for rivals. "That necklace is the night's soul," Sophia murmured, nodding toward the pedestal where the emerald pendant gleamed under velvet ropes, its chain a cascade of platinum links etched with ancient glyphs. Elena nodded, her mind already tallying how the auction proceeds would fund rooftop gardens in Skid Row. Jack and Mia hovered at the fringes, her in a thrift store dress with mismatched bows, clutching a pilfered flute of sparkling cider that fizzed like fireworks on her tongue. "Look, Daddy!" "It's like Cinderella's ball," Mia squealed, twirling until her skirt flared. Jack chuckled, nerves easing in her glow, though self-conscious glances from tailored guests prickled his skin. He spotted a buffet table laden with shrimp skewers and chocolate-dipped strawberries, delicacies, Mia had only dreamed of, and guided her there, her hand a warm anchor in his calloused palm, as the MC, a silver-haired philanthropist with a voice like aged whiskey, took the stage to hype the grant announcement. Victor Kane struck. Ducking behind a potted palm during a thunderous applause, he palmed a duplicate velvet cloth from his valet kit, swapping it over the case in a sleight-of-hand blur honed in Vegas backrooms. The necklace vanished into his sleeve, heart hammering as he melted back into the service door, bound for a quick fence in Koreatown. Moments later, the MC faltered mid-sentence, the case's reveal yielding empty darkness. Gasps rippled like dominoes. Security swarmed, phones whipped out for frantic calls. "It's gone, the Aztec tier," the MC stammered, face ashen. Panic fermented into accusation, eyes darting like hawks. Elena, nearest the stage from her front row seat, felt the first sting. A socialite in pearls hissed. She was eyeing it all night. Tech vultures, always grabbing what's not theirs, whispers amplified. Elena's bold philanthropy, seen as a ploy for headlines, her Latina roots twisted into outsider barbs by old money whispers. The crowd turned feral, a murmur swelling to a roar. "Check her bag. Those immigrants think they own LA now." A hedge fund tycoon bellowed, his face ruddy with gin. Elena's pulse thundered, disbelief rooting her in place as ushers blocked exits, trapping the room in suspicion's cage. Sophia, face twisting from shock to fury, whipped out her phone. "This is insane, you're all bigots." She snapped at the accusers, but doubt crept in, her loyalty fracturing under the mob's weight. "Elena, what the hell?" "Were you near it?" she demanded, voice cracking like brittle ice, dialing 911 with trembling fingers. "Yes, officer, possible theft at the Dolby. My cousin, she might be involved." The betrayal landed like a gut punch. Elena's eyes welled. The woman who'd clawed empires now crumbling under familial blade. Tension coiled tighter, the air electric with schadenfreude. Guests pounded fists on tables chanting, "Thief! Thief!" as flashbulbs popped like gunfire. Jack pulled Mia close, her small frame quaking against him. "Daddy, why are they yelling at the pretty lady?" She didn't do it. She smiled at me earlier, shared her cookie. Elena, isolated on her island of scorn, met Mia's gaze across the chaos, a fleeting anchor of innocence amid the storm. But the mob surged, security closing in with zip ties glinting like fangs. Sophia's call connected. Sirens wailed faintly in the distance, sealing Elena's fate in a headline nightmare. Then from the shadows, Mia wriggled free, her sneakers squeaking on marble as she darted forward, a tiny David against Goliaths. "Stop, I saw it!" she cried, voice slicing the din like a siren's wail. All eyes swiveled, Jack lunged, but too late. Mia clambered onto a chair, pointing unerringly at the service exit where Victor had fled, his discarded velvet cloth fluttering like a guilty flag from the hinge. The man with the funny hat, the one parking cars outside. He had a magic trick with the cloth, like my puppet show, but sneaky. He took the shiny green thing when everyone clapped. Gasps inverted to awe. Security bolted, radioing descriptions as Victor's getaway car peeled out on Hollywood Boulevard. But not before a patrol unit, alerted by the Gala's proximity, nailed him at the light, the necklace tumbling from his pocket like confetti from hell. The crowd deflated, shame-fretting murmurs replacing roars. Elena sank to her knees, tears carving silver tracks on her cheeks, pulling Mia into an embrace that smelled of Chanel and salvation. "You brave, brilliant girl," she whispered, voice husky with raw gratitude. "You saw what no one else could, a truth hidden in plain sight." Mia beamed, hugging back fiercely. "Everyone makes mistakes, lady. My daddy says forgiveness is the best magic." In that clutch, a cord snapped taut between them, Elena's armored heart cracking open to the purity of a child's unfiltered grace. Sophia dropped her phone, horror etching her features as she rushed forward, collapsing beside them. "Elena, Dios mío, I was wrong, so wrong. How can you ever?" Elena silenced her with a weary smile, clasping her hand. "Family fights, Sophia, but we don't break." The apology hung heavy, mending fractures in the spotlight's glare. As Victor was hauled away in cuffs, the gala exhaled, guests dispersing into the night murmurs of Miracle Kid. Trailing like smoke, the grant reveal, postponed but the spirit unbroken. Weeks blurred into a fragile normalcy for Jack and Mia, the gala's glow fading like a half-remembered dream. But LA's underbelly doesn't forgive debts. The garage laid Jack off in a cost-cutting purge, his boss citing slow season while pocketing bonuses. Eviction loomed like a guillotine, landlords, notice taped to their door, red ink. Screaming final, Mia's school called. Unpaid lunch fees, her drawings of emerald. Necklaces now scribbled with worry lines. Jack pawned his wedding ring for groceries, but the cupboards echoed empty. Mia's cough worsening from the damp chill seeping through cracked windows. One rain-lashed night as thunder. Rattled the panes child services. Knocked anonymous tip about unfit conditions. Mia's wide eyes brimming as social workers loomed. "Daddy, don't let them take me," she whimpered, clinging like ivy. Jack's world imploded, fists clenched against the injustice, a man who'd lost everything, now staring down the abyss of separation. But Elena hadn't forgotten. The mogul, haunted by Mia's valor, had scoured records tracing the raffle kid to Echo Park's fringes. Arriving unannounced in a sleek SUV that cut the downpour like a blade, she burst through the door amid the standoff, her presence a thunderclap. "This stops now," she declared, voice steel-wrapped. Velvet flashing legal docs from her pro bono army. The necklace's recovery had minted. Mia, a media darling, headline screaming. Child hero saves Gala, and Elena leveraged it ruthlessly. Calls to city council. Donations rerouted to housing trusts, a foundation check for $500K. To clear debts and secure a sunny Pasadena bungalow. Social workers retreated, cowed by her aura. Jack gaped, rain dripping from his brow, as Elena knelt to Mia. "You saved me once, Mija. Now it's my turn." Their bond ignited fully. Elena's empire opening doors. Jack hired as operations lead at Vasquez. Innovation's community arm. Mia enrolled in an elite arts academy with scholarships. Blooming like desert wildflowers. Sophia, redeemed, became godmother aunt. Her fury transmuted to fierce advocacy. In the storm's aftermath, tears mingled with laughter. A family forged not by blood, but by lightning truths. Months later, under Pasadena's golden haze, Jack watched Mia sketch in their sun-drenched yard. Elena beside her, Sophia grilling empanadas on a new patio. The bungalow hummed with life, bookshelves groaning, Mia's laughter a symphony. Jack caught Elena's eye, gratitude a quiet ocean between them. "You didn't just save our home," he said softly. "You gave us a horizon." She smiled, the mogul unmasked, vulnerable. "And you both reminded me wealth is hollow without heart." As dusk painted the sky in fire, they linked hands, a circle unbreakable. In America's fractured tapestry, one child's courage wove threads of unlikely grace, proving that from blame's ashes, the deepest bonds rise, eternal and fierce. Fade to stars, a story etched in souls, whispering that redemption waits for those bold enough to see. What would you do in this situation? Tell me in the comments. And if the story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video.